Over 100 people sick on a cruise ship again. True crime on the high seas. And Carnival opens their new beach destination. Lots to talk about. Let's get to it. Welcome, I'm Sean Wendt. I'm your host here at the Went There Cruising channel. Today's July the 19th, 2025. Interesting stories to talk about. First one being on Wednesday, the 16th, Royal Caribbean's Navigator of the Seas on a 7-night Mexican Riviera cruise reported that they have over 140 people ill on board. It's suspected this is a norovirus outbreak, but that has yet to be confirmed. But interestingly, this is the 18th norovirus or illness outbreak on a cruise ship this year, which matches all of 2024. So we're barely past the halfway point of the year, and we've already matched what occurred last year. So why do you think of the increase? What could possibly be causing that? We know what largely causes this. It's people that refuse to wash their hands. I actually talked about this in my pet peeves video, which I'll leave a link to below, but it's my number one pet peeve, people that refuse to wash their hands in the buffet. So when this occurs, the ship has to do additional cleaning, and sometimes what they implement, like in the buffet, is that where the crew will serve you food as opposed to you being able to grab it yourself there in the buffet. So I actually think that's a good practice. It's probably a bit more labor intensive. That is what they do on the new Sun Princess ship. I think it's probably a better practice, but obviously it does require more employees to be able to do that. But it would probably limit the number of these norovirus outbreaks that we have on board. So once a ship has 3% of passengers and crew that become ill, they're required to report it 18 times this year. So hopefully they'll get that cleaned up and no further problems out of that ship. Number 2 story today, interesting news out of Virgin Voyages. For just in time for spooky season, this October, on October 10th, Virgin's going to launch their first true crime cruise at sea. Are you a true crime fan? Well, if you follow true crime podcasts, they're going to have several live podcasts recorded on board and a lot of true crime podcast people on board for meet and greets. I happen to know a true crime podcaster. If you follow the Murder Police podcast, I know David Lyons, good guy, puts on a really good show there. So, hey, right up your alley. If you're into true crime, they're going to be having a cruise specifically dedicated to true crime. I don't think I've heard of a true crime cruise before. I've heard 80s cruises and a bunch of other types, but never true crime. So obviously it's a significantly growing field. There's a lot of interest in it. So if that's for you, this October, Virgin Voyages, check it out. Our third story today, 2027 itineraries are starting to come out. And with it, one of the things that Carnival has announced that they're going to be replacing the Carnival Valor with the Carnival Dream out of New Orleans. So the Valor has been sailing out of New Orleans, but now they're going to replace that with the Dream. The Dream hosts about 700 more people than the Valor, so this increases their capacity out of there, which is interesting because it's the same thing that Norwegian just did. A couple weeks ago, there was the story of them swapping the Breakaway for the Prima. No, I think that's the other way. They swapped the Prima for the Breakaway, increasing capacity out of New Orleans. So apparently New Orleans is a significantly growing cruise market. 2 different cruise lines significantly increasing their capacity out of New Orleans. So have you cruised out of New Orleans? I have not cruised out of New Orleans. I've gone out of Galveston multiple times, but I certainly be willing to try New Orleans. It's a neat city, and it'll be a good place to cruise out of. So these new itineraries out of New Orleans, Carnival has announced that some of them will go to the new Celebration Key, which brings us to our 4th story of the day, and a big one today. Carnival Cruise Line, July the 19th, is opening their new island, or I should say new beach, in the Bahamas, on Grand Bahama. So they spent $500 million on this island, and they're working on it for a couple of years. I think the intent of it is to compete with Royal Caribbean's Perfect Day at Coco Cay. But so the new beach destination obviously has pools, it has beaches, it has over 30 restaurant or bar options there. So it looks pretty exciting. The photos look great. The first ship is docking there today. So we'll get to see it. I'm excited to see what actual real guests have to say about it. Looks like it'll be neat. So it is included in your cruise fare when you do sail there, so you don't have to pay extra to go there. But there are many opportunities there to spend extra money, right? So they do have floating cabanas and beach clubs and all kinds of things where you can spend quite a bit of money there if you so choose. But if you just want to go down to the beach, you can do that complimentary. Looks pretty exciting. Are you scheduled to go to Celebration Key? If you are, let us know in the comments when you're going. I'm excited to see it. That's the news for today. If you found the video useful, please like the video. If you enjoy cruise content, please subscribe. We'd love to be your source for cruise content. And until we see you next time, we wish you smooth sailing. Take care.